snatches, and then even going up to 165 or same scenario. And that drove them and that guided their training next. Because again, this also comes back to like, you're being tested.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think probably
I mean, from a
Go ahead, Lauren.
just from a selfish standpoint, there might be some people out there that fall into this camp too. But the Open is mostly an engine test. What's your capacity? It's got a lot of shuttle runs. The thing that gets me excited about quarterfinals is, oh, now we test skill and now we test strength, and those are what keeps me in CrossFit gyms. Shuttle runs don't keep me in CrossFit gyms.
Right,
yeah.
It's the other stuff that I've worked hard to be able to do.
Well, there's also...
And again, I don't want that to sound like I don't think people work hard for shuttle runs, because
Sure.
you do. Clearly, I just don't work at that.
For sure. But the other we touched on this just a second ago, but I want to go back to it too, is the reduction of spots for North America and Europe. You have essentially put a target on your back to make sure you get those right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just took this, and this is the problem, maybe my biggest gripe. Some quarterfinals opening up to 25%. I waffle on that, whatever. It's almost like this arbitrary number that we created 2 years ago that people are super attached to, and I get it. That's kind of how you have to go sometimes. But this one just seems like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like some of the sentiment that I've gotten from athletes so far in just this 24 hours is that North America and Europe are frustrated by that. I think even Europe more so. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to build this sport in a way that rewards the participation and growth in certain areas, you have 3 regions, if you split up North America, that represented 81.25% of the games field last year, but yet now are going to occupy only 42% of basically half of the semifinal this year.
So while you like the fact that there's the same amount around the world, you're sympathetic to the fact that they've cut spots.
Well, it's nice that it standardizes it, but then it doesn't reward regions for being more competitive. Like, at the end of the day, do I think the fittest people will qualify for the CrossFit Games? Absolutely. But when we're looking at semifinals, which is still a very high level and competitive stage, giving all the regions the same amount of spots, just, to me, that makes it feel less of a legitimate sport.
And while I like the standardization across the board, like I said, last time we had that, there was way more representation in we had 2 Europe regionals. We had a multitude of North American regionals.
True.
Back then. So that the total cohort wasn't necessarily affected in a negative way. And you're pulling spots away from these highly competitive semifinals and giving them to spots that